Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits by James Clear is built on one idea. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Most people think big change requires big effort. Clear disagrees. He argues that a 1% improvement every day compounds into something unrecognizable within a year. The math is simple. Get 1% better daily, and you end up 37 times better by year's end. Get 1% worse, and you decay to nearly zero. The difference between the two isn't talent. It's the tiny decisions you repeat without thinking. Clear calls these atomic habits. Small, almost invisible behaviors that seem meaningless in the moment, but reshape your identity over time. The framework has 4 laws. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. Every habit you want to build lives inside those 4 laws. Every habit you want to break is just those laws reversed. Hide the cookies. Put the running shoes by the door. Stack a new habit onto an existing one. Your environment designs your behavior more than your willpower ever will. But the deepest idea in the book isn't about behavior. It's about identity. Clear argues that lasting change starts with who you believe you are, not what you want to achieve. Don't say you want to read more. Say you're a reader. Don't say you want to run. Say you're a runner. Every small action becomes a vote for the identity you're building. Habits aren't just things you do. They're proof of who you're becoming. Deep Work. Deep Work by Newport makes an argument that sounds obvious until you realize almost nobody actually does it. The ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. Newport calls this deep work, and he believes it's the superpower of the modern economy. Most people spend their days in shallow work. Emails, meetings, notifications, busy tasks that feel productive but produce nothing of real value. They're always connected, always reachable, always half-focused. And the cost is invisible because busyness feels like progress. Newport says it isn't. He draws a line between professionals who produce work of real depth and those who just stay busy. The gap between them isn't intelligence. It's the ability to sit with a hard problem long enough for genuine insight to emerge. That takes practice. Your brain needs to be trained to focus the way your body needs to be trained to run. Newport recommends scheduling deep work like a meeting with yourself, protecting blocks of uninterrupted time, eliminating or bathing shallow obligations, and embracing boredom instead of reaching for your phone the moment discomfort appears. The discomfort is the point. Every time you resist distraction, you're strengthening the mental muscle that produces your best work. The world rewards depth. It just doesn't make depth easy. The One Thing by Gary Keller destroys the myth of multitasking and replaces it with a question. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? That question sounds simple. It isn't. Most people never ask it because they're too busy managing everything equally. Keller argues that equality is the enemy of results. When everything is a priority, nothing is. The highest achievers in every field don't do more things. They do fewer things with greater intensity and longer duration. The book introduces the concept of the domino effect. Line up dominoes in the right sequence, and knocking over the first one eventually topples something 50 times its size. Your goals work the same way. Find the lead domino in any area of your life, the one action that cascades into everything else, and focus there relentlessly. Keller also attacks the idea of a balanced life as a daily pursuit. Balance, he argues, isn't something you achieve each day. It's something you correct over time. Elite performance requires imbalance in the short term. You have to go all in on what matters most, then rebalance when the season changes. The one thing isn't laziness. It's strategic elimination. Saying no to the good so you can say yes to the best. Getting Things Done. Getting Things Done by David Allen solves a problem you didn't know how to name. Your brain is terrible at storing open loops. Every unfinished task, uncommitted idea, and pending decision you carry in your head creates low-level mental noise that drains your cognitive energy without you noticing. Allen calls these open loops. And the mind, he says, is for having ideas, not holding them. The GT system is built around one core move. Capture everything outside your head. Write it down, put it in a trusted system, and stop using your brain as a storage device. Once everything is captured, you process it. Does it require action? If not, trash it, file it, or defer it. If yes, what is the very next physical action? Not work on the project. Exactly what do you do next? Open your laptop. Send one email. Make one phone call. The specificity matters because vague tasks create resistance. Clear next actions eliminate hesitation. Allen's system creates what he calls a mind like water. Calm, clear, and ready to respond appropriately to whatever hits it. Not because your life gets simpler, but because nothing is stuck in your head competing for attention. When your mind is clear, your work gets better. When your work gets better, your results compound. That's the whole system. The 4-Hour Workweek. The 4-Hour Workweek by Ferriss doesn't tell you to work less. It tells you to stop confusing activity with output. Ferriss built his argument on Pareto's principle. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Most people spend their days on the 80% that produces almost nothing. They're busy, stressed, exhausted, and barely moving forward. Ferriss asks a harder question. What would you eliminate if you had to cut your workload by 80% and keep only the results? That question rewires how you see your tasks, your meetings, your obligations, your time. He introduces the concept of lifestyle design. Don't wait until retirement to live the life you want. Build mini-retirements now. Automate what can be automated. Outsource what drains your time. Eliminate what produces nothing. The book is controversial because it sounds like a cheat code. It isn't. It's a permission structure. Permission to question why you do what you do, whether the rules you follow were ever actually rules, and what your work would look like if results were the only thing that mattered. Not hours, not presence, not busyness. Results. The 4-hour workweek doesn't give you 4 hours of work. It gives you back the question of what your time is actually worth. Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog by Tracy takes its title from a Mark Twain idea. If you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, nothing worse can happen to you the rest of the day. Tracy turns that into a productivity principle. Your frog is your most important task, the one you're most likely to procrastinate on, the one that, if done, would move everything else forward. Eat it first, before email, before meetings, before the comfortable tasks that make you feel productive without producing anything meaningful. Tracy argues that the order in which you tackle your day determines almost everything. Most people start with the easy stuff. They clear their inbox, handle small tasks, and build false momentum. By the time they face the real work, their energy is gone and resistance is high. Eat That Frog reverses the sequence. Do the hard thing first when your energy and focus are at their peak. The relief you feel afterward fuels everything else. The book is short. The idea is simple, but simple isn't easy. Most people know they should do the hard thing first. They just don't. That gap between knowing and doing is where productivity dies. Tracy's book lives in that gap and refuses to let you stay comfortable inside it.